how safe are our bonds, right? That's the question. This is supposed to be the safer part of the portfolio. Like, aren't
Mhm.
there going to be a ton of defaults, and how should we feel about that?
Well, I would say that there's going to be some defaults. Saying that there will be a ton of defaults is probably a little bit of an overstatement. But yeah, naturally, we're going to go into a recession. We are in a recession currently. It's a pretty deep one. And when there's recessions, there's defaults, right? And defaults doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to lose all your money. It just means that, you might have to take a haircut. If you're the bondholder of that corporate issuer or of that state or municipality. Many times these get restructured, and many times there's what's known as forbearance. So they extend the maturity. And, I think we're
Right.
seeing,
But let me, sorry to cut you off, because like I think what our clients care about is like, what does that mean to them and the bonds that they hold,
yeah,
right?
yeah, well,
Not
we're
the
very well, yeah.
technical of all of that, the underlying what's going to happen, but
Well, we have always believed in being very well diversified on our clients' bond portfolios. So, we feel very comfortable that while there might be, some defaults here and there, I think when you own hundreds, if not thousands, of corporate issuers, which is the situation for our clients using bond ETFs, we feel very comfortable that as an asset class, we're going to come out of this and look back and say that asset class, which was meant to play defense, played its role correctly, and it played it well.
so even with defaults, even if defaults go higher, the feeling is that we shouldn't let any news of any individual company or municipality struggling scare us away from still believing that these are safer assets for us.
I think that there is a misconception here around, will there be defaults? Yes. Will there be mass defaults that will render the asset class or that will undermine the asset class's role as a hedge? I would say, because of the type of situation that we're in, there has been an unprecedented response by the Treasury, by the Federal Reserve, our central bank, our congressional leaders to backstop state and local governments. So I think in a situation like 0809, when the cause of the recession was, banking, mismanaged banks, mismanaged mortgage originations, banks that in some ways created a very difficult self-inflicted wound on the broader banking and financial system. I think that's a very different situation than the situation that we're in. And that's the reason why the congressional leaders, why the Treasury, and why the Federal Reserve have earmarked literally trillions of dollars to step into the bond markets and effectively backstop the most commonly traded municipal debt, as well as some corporate debt, such as the airlines, such as strategic industries like the cargo airlines, the passenger airlines, right? So I think to the extent that was not forthcoming, I think we would be looking at an entirely different type of risk profile for the asset class. But because of this, intervention by Washington, they have basically pulled out all the stops. They've come out forcefully, and that has calmed down. That has calmed things down in the bond market. And the reality is that they're trading. There's liquidity in the markets, and the prices have held up.